Within is, however, the point of the box. In a similar way, modern medicine tends to treat people as mechanical beings, assessing our health, happiness, and future by the physical aspects of our bodies, and attempting to modify anything irregular with drugs that have a contrary physical effect. Most of us have experienced that this doesn't always work. The same drug has different effects on different people. Because, of course, although human bodies function normally in the same way, no two individuals have exactly the same emotional experience. Martin's approach is apparently simple. A happy person is a healthy person. When you are happy, your body functions in perfect harmony and balance. When you are unhappy, the tension in your body will help you to understand emotional tensions you may not have been conscious of. This is the essence of ancient philosophies, that accept the perfect design and functioning of natural organisms as beyond human conception. The Buddha is reputed to have said, quote, "There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way," unquote. Anyone who has tried to focus on this goal will find it contains enough challenges to occupy a whole lifetime, as well as inconceivable joys and unimaginable triumphs. It would be a mistake, however, to confuse apparent simplicity with lack of logic. Martin's genius was to focus his intelligence on anything that appeared hazy or illogical and ask questions, while at the same time entertaining the perspective that human beings form part of a greater evolutionary truth that has not been measured by scientific methods, but perceived and described by spiritual ones. The chain of reaction that emotions set up in our bodies is highly logical, and Martin has shown how it can be understood like any logical language. Of course, this would be meaningless if it could not be understood by the person who needs healing. But after decades of applying this method in healing hundreds of people, Martin's experience was that this body language is understood by the person who needs healing. Once understood, the mystery to behold is how physical changes follow. It is as though the body is holding on to the truth until the person inside the body gets it. My physical symptoms did not disappear immediately after I met Martin, but his teaching and the body mirror healing system he devised, which you find explained in this book, provided a clear pathway to show how physical symptoms can disappear. Martin's constant message was to take charge of creating the life you want to lead, to be the director of your own movie, as he often puts it. The only limitations are the ones we place on ourselves, and the power our minds can access is limitless. Not knowing what I would find at the end of the path, drawn on by curiosity, I set about learning as much about healing as I could. I discovered to my astonishment that I had the ability to heal others, and that with patient and persistent work on myself, my own symptoms diminished, until eventually the tumor itself disappeared. I did not always believe in the end result I would achieve, but I allowed myself to imagine it with greater and greater confidence. I have Martin and the body mirror healing method to thank for that. In the years since, I have found that healing is constantly teaching me, adding new dimensions to my experience that I could never have arrived at by logical means, but which have power because they are true for me and for you. Martin's vision of the power of healing delivered a method, body mirror healing, that he was motivated to share, and he devoted his life to teaching it all around the world. He maintained that children could learn it in as little as 2 days, and that the practice of healing itself would teach them what they needed to know. That has certainly been my experience. The practice of healing oneself and others is a great teacher. While the wisdom of ancient shamans and philosophers has often been used to exert power over other people, Martin's genius was to open our eyes to the power within us all. He was a stickler for detail, and he could be exacting, but he was infinitely generous in his perception of superhuman power in every individual.